Well, an important part of chemistry is being able to write the formulas for the compounds. Remember that an ionic compound has a metal element and a nonmetal. Or a polyatomic ion, and we'll talk about that in a minute. Okay, the total charge of the compound must always be 0. So we're going to spend some time here building our compounds so that they will have a charge of 0. So we'll begin with building a compound of sodium and oxygen. So here's our periodic table. And we know that this column is going to be +1, this column is +2, +3, -3, -2, -1. Okay? Sodium is in the first column of the periodic table. It's going to have a charge of 1, positive. Oxygen is here on the periodic table. It's going to have a charge of -2. Now the compound we build has to have an even number of charges. You can't have more positive or negative, or else the compound won't have a charge of 0. So we're going to need to have 2 sodiums for every 1 oxygen, and we're going to write this by using a subscript. That means I've got 2 of the sodium ion and 1 of the oxygen. I'm going to show you a trick. When you're trying to figure out what these subscripts should be, you can take the superscript of one of the atoms and put it down here, and the superscript of the other and put it there. You do a crisscross. So the 2 here becomes the 2 there, and the 1 here becomes 1 here. We don't usually put in the 1s. They're not needed to be, you don't need to put those in. Okay, so let's look at the next one. We've got barium and nitrogen. Barium's a little lower on the table, so let me move it down here so we can see it. Barium is here. It has a +2 charge. Nitrogen is here and has a -3 charge. If we do our crisscross, we'll get 2 here and 3 there. And our new compound will be written as barium 3 nitrogen 2. Notice when I write the compound, I've written a neutral compound. I don't have any pluses or minuses or anything. There's just the number that I have of the ions. So what this tells me is that I've got 3 bariums, each with 2 charges, and I've got 2 nitrogens, each with 3 charges. And so you can see I've got 6 positive charges, 6 negative charges. I've written a neutral compound. So you want to turn off the tape and see if you can do the next one. Okay. So magnesium is here. Magnesium is going to have a +2 charge. Fluorine has a -1 charge. We do our crisscross, and we'll get magnesium and 2 fluorines. potassium and sulfur. Potassium is here with 1 positive charge. Sulfur is here with 2 negative charges. We do our crisscross and we'll need 2 potassiums for every sulfur ion. Sodium and nitrogen. Move it back up again. Let's see, sodium is here with 1 charge. Nitrogen has 3 negative charges. Sorry. We do our crisscross. It'll take 3 sodium ions to go with every 1 nitrogen ion. Aluminum and iodine. Aluminum, that gave you the charge here, and iodine is right here. It has 1 negative charge. We'll get 1 aluminum ion will require 3 iodine ions to give us a neutral compound. Okay, when we write our compounds, the cation is always written first. So we're going to write aluminum oxide, not iodine aluminum. Then we're also going to add IDE to the second element. So we've got some examples to work. So Ca is calcium. And then we write chloride. We don't have to put any numbers with that because a competent chemist can look at a periodic table and know that there are 2 chloride ions that go with each calcium. The next one would be sodium oxide, magnesium phosphatide, potassium iodide, and barium fluoride.